has an impact in forever which are in society, economy, and in the government. Science, technology, and innovation have led to be crucial drivers of financial booms and human development.
Vertical gardens are not a modern concept. It includes green walls, facades, and freestanding structures. Historical accounts show that the Romans grew grapevines and climbing roses on trellises. In Egypt, they have the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Vertical gardens continue to evolve today. In 1938, landscape architect Stanley Hartwine created and patented the modern garden wall, which he called botanical bricks. In the 1980s, French botanist Patrick Bland popularized and modernized the vertical garden concept. Vertical gardens continue to evolve and grow in popularity. Their capacity to absorb pollutants and improve air quality means they are becoming a serious solution for improving public health, environment, and building performance that will boost our economy. However, it's essential that vertical gardens are well designed and maintained so that they perform as intended and have longevity.
So before you build your vertical garden, you need to take a moment to consider the result of this by how will you operate and maintain this vertical garden. So first step, you need to choose the wall for the plants or the plants for the wall. Once you know what kind of plants you are going to grow or where you want to place your vertical garden, you need to construct the frame. It could be metal frame, wood, or plastic. The next step is to attach that backing layer to the frame, a layer that will serve a double function. First is, it will form an inner layer behind the fabric at the front, and second, it will help protect the wall from the water that will be constantly running down your vertical garden. Next, you need to attach the fabric layer to the front. This will be the part that is visible, and this is where you will place your plants. The more efficient and labor-saving way to do it is to install an irrigation system at the top, and will also need to fit in a system to deliver fertilizer to your vertical garden. So once your frame is assembled already, you need to mount it on the wall. You may decide to hang it permanently or build it so it is easy to detach. Lastly, adding plants and be creative according to its color, type, and size of the plant. However, in maintaining vertical garden, it will require special care when it comes to pruning and watering. Watering is fundamental for any plant, so the frequency and the quantity of water will depend on the type of plants you're growing. That is why plants are irrigated by an automatic system with prepared vertical and horizontal pipes behind the soil where water is equally distributed to the plant. In addition, pruning is one of the most important aspects of gardening because it prevents pest infestations and controls the size of the plant. Another important aspect of maintaining a vertical garden is fertilizing. That is why it recommends to replace and fertilize the soil regularly. And these are the ways to operate this vertical garden.
As we all know, a lot of trees were cut to build an establishment, and our country is now surrounded by cities in which there are many buildings, condominium units, malls, and other establishments, which cause pollution and destroys our environment. Our group come up with vertical gardens, like what Singapore has. Like what I have said a while ago, a lot of trees were cut to build establishments. So, what if the plants meet with buildings? For example, in the big companies or agencies with a high infrastructure we have here in the Philippines, we can put a garden within its outer wall from the ground to its highest point. Since our country is tropical, we can use these gardens to save energy we use from consuming air conditioners and electric fans. Also, since a lot of COVID cases were reported, we can put vegetation in hospitals because there is powerful evidence that plants within our environment can bring psychological benefits. Patients with use of plants may also have faster recovery times. These are just few of the potential roles of a vertical garden in our country.
So the advantage of this vertical garden, you will have easy access to view greenery or nature, and it helps to improve your creativity and overall mental health.
Vertical gardens help to improve air quality and lessen the pollution.
Vertical gardens help to bring back loss of green spaces in urban areas.
The disadvantage of vertical gardening is that it can hold moisture against the affected walls and can promote rot if the planters are not installed properly.
Vertical gardens can attract bugs and germs due to improper maintenance.
Vertical gardens may result to high risk of fire incidents.
On June 27, 1954, the world's first nuclear power station to generate electricity for power grid. The Obsnik nuclear power plant started operation in Obsnik of Soviet Union. The first full-scale power station, Calder Hall in United Kingdom, opened on October 17, 1956.
History and background. Connected to the power grid in 1954, Obninsk was the first grid-connected nuclear power plant in the world. In other words, the first nuclear reactor to produce electricity industrially, albeit at small scale. It was located at the Institute of Physics and Power Engineering. The idea of nuclear power began in the 1930s, when physicist Enrico Fermi first showed that neutrons could split atoms. Fermi led a team that in 1942 achieved the first nuclear chain reaction. Under the stadium of the University of Chicago, Enrico Fermi, an Italian physicist, led the team of scientists who created the first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction.
How to operate nuclear power plants. The water in the core is heated by nuclear fissions and then pumped into tubes inside the heat exchanger. Those tubes heat separate water source to create steam. The steam then turns an electric generator to produce energy. The core water cycles back to the reactor to be reheated and the process is repeated. How nuclear power plants applied in the Philippines. Nuclear power plants heat water to produce steam. The steam is used to spin large turbines that generate electricity. Nuclear power plant used to heat produced during nuclear fissions to be heat water. In the nuclear fissions, atoms are split apart to form smaller atoms, releasing energy. It's been nearly 35 years since the Philippines mothballed the country's only nuclear power plants, declared the 621 megawatts Bataan facilities would not be commissioned despite the country spending $2.3 billion on its constructions. It was the Philippines' only attempt at the building nuclear power plant. It was mothballed due to safety concerns in the wake of 1986 Chernobyl nuclear power plant's disaster in the form Sorbet nucleates and issue regarding corruptions.
Advantage and disadvantage of nuclear power. Advantage nuclear energy are that it is produced low-cost energy, it is reliable, and it releases zero carbon emission. There is a promising future for nuclear technology and it has a high energy density, does not contribute to global warming, and produces no polluting gases. And the disadvantage is expensive to build. No fuels are born and there are no combustion products such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and so on to pollute the environment.